Welcome to our Fundamentals of Hardware and Software video presentation number 2. The objectives of this video are: install utility software and describe how it is used to manage the security of a computer system. Describe the structure of the different software and operating systems. Describe the system unit components, registry, CMOS and BIOS. And explain the role of the central processing unit, monitor, keyboard and mouse in the function of the computer system. What is utility software and how is it installed? Utility software is a software that is designed to assist in the analysis, configuration, optimization, or maintenance of a computer. It also performs a number of tasks. Some of these tasks are installation, virus detection, backup, uninstallation, and detection of unwanted files, just to name a few. How is utility software installed? Step 1. Locate and download an exe file. Step 2. Locate and double-click the exe file. It is normally in your downloads folder. Step 3. A dialog box will appear. Follow the instructions to install the software. Step 4. The software will be installed. You can now open the application from the Start menu or Start screen. Utility software and how it is used to manage the security of a computer system. Antivirus is a threat identification tool that is used to remove viruses, malware, and other cyber dangers from your devices. File management system. It organizes digital data within a system and provides a searchable database for quick retrieval. Debugger. It is a kind of utility software that detects and corrects faults in various computer programs. Disk manager tools. These are used to handle disk-based hardware that is supported by Windows. These programs can be used to manage flash devices, optical disk drives, and hard disk drives. Disk cleanup tool. Assists in the cleaning of disk space on a computer's hard drive. It cleans up the computer by removing unnecessary files. Miscellaneous utilities. All remaining utility software might be included in this category. It can be one of the most useful tools for the safekeeping of your emails. Backup utility. In the creation of duplicating databases, documents and files, data is saved so that they can easily be recovered. Here are some examples of utility software. Advantages and disadvantages of utility software. One advantage is it enhances performance. It also manages space. It manages files and data. It helps to remove useless files. Keeps the system safe and secure. Helps to recover files after a loss. Disadvantages. It slows down your computer system. It takes more RAM space, and too much utility software can overheat your computer system. Types of operating systems with pros and cons. The first type we have is simple. These are small, simple, limited systems that do not have a well-defined structure. The levels of functionality and interfaces are not very well separated. One example of this type is MS-DOS. In MS-DOS, application programs are able to access the I/O routines. If one of the user programs fails, this means that the entire system can crash. Advantages. It delivers better application performance. This is because of the relationship between application program and hardware. It is easy for kernel developers to develop the OS. Disadvantages. The structure is complicated and has no personal boundaries between modules. It does not enforce hiding data in an OS. Layered. The OS can be broken into smaller pieces and control of the system can be retained. The debugging process is simplified because the lower level layers are debugged, and if an error occurs during the debugging process, then it means that the error is on that layer only. Advantages. It is easier to enhance the OS. Implementation of a layer can change easily without affecting the others. Debugging and system verification is very easy to perform. Disadvantages. The application performance is degraded, and careful planning is required for designing layers, as higher layers use functionalities of lower layers. Modular. This is known as the best approach structure for an OS. It only has a set of core components and the other services are added as loadable modules to the kernel. This can be done either during the booting time or the runtime, and it is similar to the layered structure. Each kernel is defined and has protected interfaces, but it is more flexible than the layered structure. Microkernels. All non-essential components are removed from the kernel and they are implemented as system and user programs. As a result, there is now a smaller kernel and it is called the microkernel. Advantages. New services need to be added to user space and it does not require the kernel to be modified. It is secure and reliable. The OS is portable to various platforms. They are tested effectively because of their size. Disadvantages. System performance is degraded because of the increased level of inter-module communication. Structures of different software. A structure can be defined as it is the division of a system into a set of parts and the relations between those parts. Or a simpler version is a structure is a set of elements as they exist in hardware and software. The software structures are module, component and connector, and allocation. Module. This is a set of system modules and the organization. The representation of the structure is module view and it is used by some some system stakeholders. The module-based structures include the following. Decomposition. These modules are related by the submodule of relations. Uses. The units of this structure are modules, procedures, or resources and interface of modules. These units are related by the uses relation. Layered. Uses relations structured into layers. Class or generalization. The modules of this structure are called classes. The relations are inherits from or is an instance of. Component and connector. Runtime components and connectors are the elements of this structure. Attachment is the relation, and it shows how the components and connectors are hooked together. It includes the following. Processes or communicating processes. The processes or threads are the units that are connected with each other by communication, synchronization, and or exclusion operations. Concurrency. The unit's components are logical threads. It is a sequence of computations that can be allocated to a physical thread. Shared data or repository. This structure is made up of component connectors that create, store, and access persistent data. Client-server. These components are clients and servers. The connectors are protocols and messages. Allocation. The structure defines the relationship between software elements and the elements in one or more external environment in which the software is created and executed. It includes the following. Deployment. It demonstrates how software is assigned to hardware processing and communication elements. Implementation. Shows how software elements are mapped to file structure or structures. Work assignment. Gives responsibility to developing teams for implementing and integrating the module. The system unit components, registry, CMOS, and BIOS. The motherboard. This system component is the core system. Literally, it is a hub of the computer. It can also be called the system board or main board. All of the other system components are linked to it by one way or the other. This part usually includes all the controllers managing all the standard peripheral devices such as mouse and keyboard. Processor. This is a small chip located on the inside of a computer. It is also called the central processing unit. It is an integrated circuit accepting coded instructions for executions. The processors can be with pins or they can come pinless. RAM. This is also known as random access memory. It is an installed memory module temporarily storing all the information that the PC needs right now or any information that is needed in the nearest future. Hard drive. Internally installed archival storage memory. It is a place where all files and folders are located. It contains a stack of disks placed inside a solid encasement. They spin extremely fast so that data could be read from any place on the hard drive. Video card graphics adapter. This is an expansion card connected to the computer motherboard and displayed in the computer outputs on the screen. Modern video cards support HDMI, that is High Definition Multimedia Interface, VGA, Video Graphics Array, and DVI, Digital Visual Interface. The power supply. This is an electrical device providing every part of the computer with electrical power. Registry. The registry or Windows registry is a database of information, settings, options, and other values for software and hardware installed on all versions of Microsoft Windows operating system. When a program is installed, a new subkey is created in the registry. CMOS, also known as complementary metal oxide semiconductor. CMOS is an onboard battery-powered semiconductor chip inside computers that stores information. This information ranges from the system, time, and date to system hardware settings for your computer. The picture above shows an example of one of the most common CMOS coin cell batteries, Panasonic CR20323V, used to power the CMOS memory. BIOS, short for Basic Input-Output System. The BIOS is a RAM chip found on motherboards that allows you to access and set up your computer system at the most basic level. The picture below is an example of what a BIOS chip may look like on a computer motherboard. The BIOS below is AMI BIOS. It is a type of BIOS manufactured by AMI. The role of the CPU in functions of computer systems. The CPU, or processor, is a unit that performs most of the processing inside of a computer. It processes all instructions received by software running on the PC and by other hardware components and acts as a powerful calculator. The CPU is also known as the brain of the computer. Within the CPU, you will find the control unit and the arithmetic logic unit. Monitor. A monitor is what you use to visualize graphics data sent from the computer's graphics card. A monitor is a video output device that displays text, video, and other information. It is also designed as a standalone piece of the overall system of a desktop computer. Keyboard. A computer keyboard allows an operator to give commands to the computer by pressing keys. The keys on a keyboard are labeled with their input function, ranges from letters of the alphabet to numbers and symbols. The role of the mouse in functions of the computer system. Mouse. The mouse controls the motion of a pointer in 2 dimensions in a graphical user interface. The mouse turns movements of the hand backward and forward, left and right into equivalent electronic signals that in turn are used to move the pointer. That is the end of our presentation, and here are the references that was used to source this information.